If you never voted for Peter Obi, you're even denied from Holy Communion in Roman Catholic. The president of today, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, he stood against the military. Him and the few of them were the only people who could stand the military. They formed Radio Freedom, being run by Ayo Fayemi, former governor of Ekiti State. He was the director of the radio station. It was from that radio station they were fighting the military in Nigeria. Everybody today will come and tell you democracy, democracy. Who fought for this democracy? This president, it is the first time that those who actually fought for democracy are ruling Nigeria. Everybody who had ruled Nigeria previously never fought for democracy. Many of them were military apologies, including Babangida, including Obasanjo, and the rest of them. They were all military apologies. This is the first time a true Democrat who fought for democracy is ruling Nigeria. And you know my anger as I speak to you now. The president is not properly being marketed. People are just seeing the president as the former governor of Lagos State. Before being governor of Lagos State, the president was somebody who fought for democracy. Why is that story not being properly documented and told? I studied political science education from University of Ibadan, so I can be able to defend what I am telling you now. Politicians are very funny people. Even if they are still going to lose, one lawyer will still tell them, make we go, you go win. Of course, if politicians don't go to court, how are the lawyers going to earn their salary? The man won the election. It's just that people are being blinded by emotional sentiments. So the military in Gabon are just waking up to slumber. You understand me? But in the case of Nigeria, Nigeria is not a private company where you can change the managers and directors overnight. I dare the military boys, let them try any shit of taking or causing any infraction in this current democracy.
Hello, good day, sir.
Good day, ma'am.
How are you today? What's your name, please?
I thank God for today. My name's Mr. Sunday Woman.
Okay, Mr. Sunday, as we be Nigeria people, now make we do and be Nigeria way. I hope say you don't hear about this just concluded tribunal where just happened about the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his fellow contestants Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi and the likes, that they took him to the tribunals because they are not satisfied with the results of the last concluded presidential election. And as the thing be now, we say the tribunal don't talk, say with all their investigations and findings, Tinubu now still be the president of this country. So my first question to you be say, sure you feel say Atiku and Peter Obi, they know they're satisfied. They feel still go Supreme Court, still carry this matter go Supreme Court, still go drag them out for there. I be made just rest dead the matter. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I thank you for this question. Actually, it is the right of every Nigerian to seek redress in the court of law. And the Supreme Court is our highest court. It is not a crime and it is not a misnomer for them to seek redress in court. There has never been any election in Nigeria where somebody was declared outright winner without people contesting the election. Politicians are very funny people. Even if they are still going to lose, one lawyer will still tell them, make we go, you go win. Of course, if politicians don't go to court, how are the lawyers going to earn their salary? I'm not taking anything away from the presidential aspirants. You understand me? But we all know how election goes in Nigeria. Asiwaju did not win his home ground of Lagos State. Asiwaju did not win the 3 KKs, Kaduna, Katsina, and Kano State. But Asiwaju scored votes in areas you never imagined he was going to win. He may not or he might not have won more states as expected, but he won more than 25 states in 28 states, 25% in 28 states. The man won the election. It's just that people are being blinded by emotional sentiments. This is not an emotional game. This is a game of number. How many states did you win? How many percentage did you win in these various states? The man won the election. I am not taking anything away from Peter Obi. He was a good candidate who gave Asiwaju a run for his money. But Peter Obi standing it alone and Atiku standing it alone was the reason why Asiwaju won. If Peter Obi and Atiku had teamed up, they would have beaten Asiwaju silly. Yes, I know I support Asiwaju, but I am telling you, if you go through the political calculus, the states won by Obi and Atiku, you can see that Asiwaju would have been defeated because the entire 5 eastern states that are supposed to back up Atiku was lost to Peter Obi by Atiku. Whereas Asiwaju went to far north like Sokoto State, Jigawa State, Borno State, and the rest of them to go and collect votes in areas that are not even his stronghold. Then now came to other sub-states like Cross River, Akwa Ibom, River State to win more than 20-25%. Of course, winning River State. Yes, the president won the election, but it is the right of those who feel that the election was not properly organized or that they were cheated to go to court. In as much as you can marshal out your points, to challenge the election. The president also has his own men who will also marshal out the points. People are saying that the election were rigged in some certain states. But I tell you, there are places in Abia State where if you never voted for Peter Obi, you're even denied from Holy Communion in Roman Catholic. It's a fact. They are asking Kiri Koye Jiocha. She's a member of the House of Rep. It happened somewhere in her community. You understand me? So this thing is not a new thing. You understand me? Nigeria should give the president a chance. The man won the election. And even if you say the election should be cancelled, it is still the same president that will organize the election. And he will still win.
Well, let's talk about this Emiloko as a slogan, which President Tinubu has been saying. It seems to be a very popular slogan, although a lot of people see it as being an arrogant or an entitled statement. What do you think about that?
Well, I thank you also for that question. Emiloko, as it emphasizes, means it's my turn. Please, the president is not arrogant. When you have gone through the political antecedents of Nigeria, you will know that it is actually his turn. Because this man, the current president, men like Ayo Padokun, men like Chief Ndubisi Kanu the late, men like Chief Alex Ekweme, men like Abubakar Omar, men like Professor, what do you call him, of ABU? He's a professor of history. You understand me? I have forgotten his name. These were the few men who could stand Abacha, who told Abacha that he cannot transform. You cannot get into your office and remove army uniform and wear agbada and say you're a president. It does not work that way. Which means you cannot transmutate. Yeah, that is the grammar. You cannot transmutate from being a military man to becoming a civilian president. No. If you want to run for the presidency of Nigeria, it is written in our constitution, you must resign and contest. And of course, Abacha had his killer squad. People like Major Rogers in Charlie, people like El Mustafa, his chief of security staff, who were appointing people to kill. The moment you challenge Abacha, you will be there the following day. Go and ask Kudirat. Go and ask other people. They were all killed. But this president stood. He never wavered. The president of today, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, he stood against the military. Him and the few of them were the only people who could stand the military. So if the man tells you that it is his turn, he is telling you that June 12th is being reclaimed. This is a reclamation of the lost mandate of Abiola, who was murdered by the Abacha junta after winning the election. People are seeing this election as Bola Ahmed Tinubu. No. If you know the history of Nigerian politics, of course, somebody can ask me, why is he so, abrasive of these things? I studied political science education from University of Ibadan, so I can be able to defend what I am telling you now. Bola Ahmed Tinubu fought for democracy in this country with his own life, to the point that he was supposed to be murdered. Many were murdered in prison. I could recall many of them who were murdered in prison. This president stood on the battlefront during the June 12th demonstrations in Lagos, and they were all pinpointed to be murdered. Many were arrested, including the winner of the election. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu never wavered. On the night he was supposed to be murdered, he escaped through Benin Republic and now went to form Nadeko and the rest of them, Pa Abraham Adesanya, Riwanu and the rest of them. They went and formed the union in London. Then all these other Nigerian writers, people like Dare Babarisa and the rest of them, they joined them overseas. People like, what do you call him, this man who owns Ovation. They were all the writers who were writing madness into Abacha's head. They formed Radio Freedom, being run by Ayo Fayemi, former governor of Ekiti State. He was the director of the radio station. It was from that radio station they were fighting the military in Nigeria. Everybody today will come and tell you democracy, democracy. Who fought for this democracy? This president, it is the first time that those who actually fought for democracy are ruling Nigeria. Everybody who had ruled Nigeria previously never fought for democracy. Many of them were military apologists, including Babangida, including Obasanjo, and the rest of them. They were all military apologists. This is the first time a true Democrat who fought for democracy is ruling Nigeria. And you know my anger as I speak to you now. The president is not properly being marketed. People are just seeing the president as the former governor of Lagos State. Before being governor of Lagos State, the president was somebody who fought for democracy. Why is that story not being properly documented and told? I met the president in Rivers State in 1993 during the June 12 campaign of MK Abiola. I was a student union leader, director of socials, public relations officer, National Union of Nigerian Students, Rivers State College of Education. So we had the MKO support group for students. So after the campaign in St. Andrew, we had to go to D-Line in the home of Chief Patrick Beleko to go and meet with the president and the rest of them. That was where I met this current president. So the president is not new. Nobody has done what Ahmed Bola Tinubu did for democracy in Nigeria, including converting his home in London as a hiding ground for Nadeko members who were chased out of Nigeria. I dare any Nigerian who contributed more to democracy in Nigeria to challenge me to a debate. There's nobody who has done more than this current president. So that Emilokon is not an arrogance. It is a truthful saying, even though it might be painful to some others. It's now the president. You have another thing coming. Nigeria is not Niger Republic, neither Nigeria is Gabon. I am not justifying any military coup. In the case of Gabon, Gabon was more or less a family business because Ali Bongo and his father has ruled the country all their years of more than 40-something. So the military in Gabon are just waking up to slumber. You understand me? But in the case of Nigeria, Nigeria is not a private company where you can change the managers and directors overnight. I dare the military boys, let them try any shit of taking or causing any infraction in this current democracy. They could not stand Boko Haram. They could not stand, what do you call it, the Fulani bandits. They could not stand the Niger Delta Avengers. Now they want to come and push out a government that God has given to us. We are waiting for them. It will be June 12th revisited. Yes, maybe people do not know that this government is a reclamation of June 12th. The military has no place in this government. The only thing the military can do is to obey the current structure and seek for ways to improve the structure of the military. Nigeria is not well properly policed or militarized. We have less than 1 million military officers. Nigeria is a country of more than 200 million people. Ethiopia is less than 100 million people. But Ethiopia has more than 1 million soldiers. And Nigeria has less than 600,000 soldiers. The military are overstretched. Nigerian military are almost in the whole 36 states. So there's no way they can be able to police the country. The Nigerian police is less than 600,000 people. And they have 300,000 guiding VIPs. And the other 300,000 guiding 200 and something million people. It is not possible. But with the money realized from the subsidy, I know that this current president is going to recruit more police. Nigeria has a backlog of not recruiting policemen and military men to about 20 years. We are supposed to be having at least 1 million policemen and special forces. But Nigeria is lacking behind. So if the military feel that now is the time for them to take over government, they never took over government under Buhari. They never took over government under Obasanjo and the rest of them. Even when Buhari made Nigerians to be using their money to buy their money, military never took over from him. Now the president is saying You military boys who have been using the subsidy money, who have been benefiting from the subsidy money, I am not going to pay subsidy again. Now you feel you can come and overthrow me. We are waiting for you. If the chief of naval staff, Okala, who is the first Igbo man to become a chief of naval staff, will go into an unholy alliance with his men to bite the finger that fed him. If somebody like, what do you call him, Lagbaja, the chief of army staff, will suddenly now come and turn against his boss. If the chief of air staff, who was choosing to be chief of air staff, which we never expected, will now turn against the president, so be it. But I tell them, Nigerians will resist with the last of their blood. We are not living in the 20th century. We are ready to face them, palm for palm, banter for banter. The military cannot defeat the Nigerian might. The military cannot defeat the Nigerian might. The military is just a creation of the Nigerian state. Our money is being used to manage them. When it comes to ordinary Nigerians, the military will show their power on the streets of Lagos and be flogging people. But they cannot go and face bandits in the forest. When you see them in Lagos, they are harassing civilians. But when they go there, many of them are deserting the forces. Yes, it is a very wrong thing for anybody to even think about it that you are coming to overthrow Nigeria. Nigeria is not Gabon. Gabon is a very insignificant state with Niger Republic. We are talking about the most populous black nation. You cannot try that. And of course, Mr. President, you have to get into alliance with the American forces. So whatever the military thing they can try, the American forces will come on ground. Yes, we have to nurture this democracy and make sure it doesn't fade. Our president enter into alliance with the American forces so that whatever this military and their cohorts, plus those who are backing them, will like to try in future, we will have a standby force to confront them, since they don't want to respect themselves. Well, Mr. President, like I have always known you, always be humble in victory. No follow them, because your becoming the president is divine. On the last day of Prophet TB Joshua's life on earth, he says that the problem of Nigeria will soon be over. And I believe that you being the president is the fact that the problem of Nigeria will be over. Because you have done what no man can do. The fact that you remove subsidy is bravery. Because bravery simply means doing what people will go against. So long as Nigerians are against you, those who do not understand the politics of subsidy, who are shouting that you remove subsidy, don't mind them, which means you're doing the right thing. And Mr. President, remember that to do the right thing is always difficult. To our brothers who are challenging the cases in the tribunal, it is your right. I am not going to deny you your right. If you want to go to Supreme Court, fine. If you want to withdraw the case, it is all to you. But one thing is sacrosanct. The president has been sworn in. Nobody will remove the president. There is no argument or counter argument. There is no logic or counter logic. There is no spiritual force that can remove the president. Only God himself who anointed him to be president. Obi Atiku, marshal out your lawyers in the court. No problem. We also have our lawyers to counter. We have facts to show that the election where Peter Obi and the rest of them were declared winners, we are not totally and utmostly transparent. They also committed some frauds. So we are waiting for them to see that evidence in the court. Whether it's going to come from planet Pluto or from planet Mars, if it is not going to be in Nigeria, we also have our own facts. Thank you very much. I hold National Certificate of Education in Political Science Social Studies and a Bachelor of Education in Politics from the University of Ibadan. It's been nice talking to you Nigerians.